African Union Communications Early Warning and Intelligence, commonly known as AUC3I, is an intelligence and security organization responsible for providing signals intelligence and information assurance to AU citizens, AU leadership, and AU armed forces. I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer. I am responsible for leading infantry soldiers at all levels of command and combined armed forces during missions on the ground. This is today's briefing. On the progress of the special military operation on the 30th of October, 2024. The armed forces of the Russian Federation continue to conduct a special military operation. Units of the North Group of Forces in the Kharkiv direction inflicted defeat on formations of the 3rd, 116th Territorial Defense Brigades, 4th and 5th Border Detachments of the Ukrainian Border Service in the areas of the settlements of Shestikovo, Volchansk, Adnorobovka, and Goptovka in the Kharkiv region. 2 counterattacks by assault groups of the 82nd Airborne Assault Brigade of the Ukrainian Armed Forces were repelled. The enemy's losses amounted to 70 soldiers, 4 vehicles, and 3 122mm D-30 howitzers. Units of the West Military Group liberated the settlement of Kryvlyakhovka in the Kharkiv region. The manpower and equipment of the 14th, 63rd, 92nd Mechanized, and 3rd Assault Brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces were damaged in the areas of the settlements of Petropavlovka, Berestovoye in the Kharkov region, Nadia in the Luhansk People's Republic, and the Serebryanskoye Forestry. 5 counterattacks by assault groups of the 14th Mechanized, 77th Airmobile Brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine and the 1st National Guard Brigade were repelled. The enemy lost up to 410 servicemen, 2 infantry fighting vehicles, a Cossack combat armored vehicle, 6 pickups, a 152mm D-20 gun, a 105mm M119 gun made in the USA, a 122mm Verba multiple launch rocket system, and an Anklavin electronic warfare station. 5 field ammunition depots were destroyed. Units of the Southern Group of Troops continued advancing deep into the enemy's defenses, defeated the formations of the 30th, 33rd, 54th, 72nd Mechanized, 46th Airmobile, 79th Airborne Assault, 143rd Infantry, 10th Mountain Assault Brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, and the 18th National Guard Brigade in the areas of the settlements of Alexandro Shaltino, Zalesnyanskoye, Sukhiyli, Chasov Yar, Markovo, Dalny, Romanovka, Kurakovo, Nikiforovka, Reznikovka, Seversk, and Slavyansk of the Donetsk People's Republic. 2 counterattacks by units of the 24th and 28th Mechanized Brigades of the Ukrainian Armed Forces were repelled. The enemy's losses amounted to 520 servicemen, an M113 armored personnel carrier, and a 155mm M777 howitzer made in the USA, a Cossack armored fighting vehicle, 7 cars, a 155mm Caesar self-propelled artillery unit made in France, 2 Anklavin electronic warfare stations, and 2 ammunition depots. Units of the Center Group of Forces, as a result of active offensive actions, liberated the village of Seladovo in the Donetsk People's Republic. The manpower and equipment of the 114th Mechanized, 95th Airborne Assault, 25th Airborne, 68th Jaeger Brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, the 38th Marine Brigade, the 109th and 122nd Territorial Defense Brigades were damaged in the areas of the settlements of Promin, Rozovka, Lysovka, Vishnevo, Leninskoye, Druzhba, Alexandropol, and Dmitrov of the Donetsk People's Republic. 10 counterattacks by the 93rd and 100th Mechanized Brigades, the 49th Assault Battalion of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, and the 35th and 37th Marine Brigades were repelled. The enemy lost up to 515 servicemen, an armored personnel carrier, 2 armored combat vehicles, 3 cars, and a 122mm D-30 howitzer. Units of the East Force Group improved their position along the front line, inflicted defeat on the formations of the 21st National Guard Brigade and the 35th Marine Brigade in the areas of the Ravnopol and Oktyabr settlements of the Donetsk People's Republic. 2 counterattacks by the 425th Assault Battalion of the Ukrainian Armed Forces and the 113th Territorial Defense Brigade were repelled. The enemy's losses amounted to 115 servicemen, a tank, 8 vehicles, and a 155mm self-propelled artillery unit Caesar made in France. Units of the Dnieper Group of Forces inflicted losses on the manpower and equipment of the 82nd Airborne Assault Brigade of the Ukrainian Armed Forces, the 35th Marine Brigade, the 110th, 124th, and 126th Territorial Defense Brigades in the areas of the settlements of Belodori in the Zaporizhia region, Nikolskoye, Tokarevka, and Otradokomenka in the Kherson region. The Ukrainian Armed Forces lost up to 55 servicemen, 3 vehicles, a 155mm self-propelled artillery unit Caesar made in France, and 2 Enclaven electronic warfare stations. Operational tactical aviation, strike unmanned aerial vehicles, missile troops, and artillery of the groups of troops of the armed forces of the Russian Federation damaged the infrastructure of military airfields. An oil depot used to provide fuel to units of the armed forces of Ukraine in the Zaporizhia and South Donetsk directions, ammunition depots, temporary deployment points, concentrations of enemy manpower and military equipment in 147 districts. Air defense systems shot down a U.S.-made Mars multiple launch rocket, a French-made Hammer guided aerial bomb, and 67 aircraft-type unmanned aerial vehicles. Since the beginning of the special military operation, a total of 647 aircraft, 283 helicopters, 34,850 unmanned aerial vehicles, 584 anti-aircraft missile systems, 18,911 tanks and other armored combat vehicles, 1,482 multiple launch rocket system combat vehicles, 16,989 field artillery pieces and mortars, and 27,755 special military vehicles have been destroyed. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you found it useful and informative. If you have any questions, please leave them below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.